Good afternoon. Today my group and I will be doing a presentation about the brand audit of Nintendo. My name is Dimple and these are my group members.
I'm Siwoon. I'm Hoai Ting.
I'm Kamarudin.
I'm Chi Wing.
I'm Ariraj.
I'm Junho.
I'm Young Young.
Alright.
So before the presentation starts, let's watch a short clips of video. So these are the Nintendo current condition: lack of general awareness, high price, low product range, lack of core gamer awareness, and also lack of online feature. So as you can see in the graph that Nintendo sales are dropping years to years, and Microsoft sales are equally same among the years, and Sony are competing among Nintendo and also Microsoft. And these are the major trends affecting the category. For first, in under demographic factors, Nintendo are target both genders, neither male or female. And also, occupations under students are based on the peer factors. When, for example, when they're grouping together, they will have some conversation about video games. So, moreover, some games need 2 players, so this is also part of your entertainment. On the educational level, it's based on the highest educational levels. People who educational level or high school educational level or PhD holder might play different kind of games. So people who have a high educational level might play might choose a game with rational content. So income level is based on the household income. People who earn a lot, they might able to purchase costly video games. So under economics factors, we have household incomes. Household incomes relate to the income level. They both brings out the same meanings. So in business cycle, let's say reflections, price go up, people have money to buy. So recession, price go down, people don't have money to buy. So when the demand of the product goes up, Nintendo will increase the price, and when the supply of the products increase, Nintendo will decrease the price to attract their customer to buy. So the factors of demand elasticity is not the necessity goods. For example, they are not necessarily good for everyone, but there are substitute goods for Nintendo, for example, Sony and Microsoft. So I have done my part, so I will pass to the next person to continue.
For the comprehensive profile, you can see there's 2 more other competitors for Nintendo, which is Microsoft and Sony. Sony and Nintendo are from Japan and Microsoft from America. So for Microsoft are basically offering the product which is more to gaming product, computer software, hardware. And however, Sony they are providing such as more to mobile devices, camera, and any other mobile communication. However, for Nintendo will be for the video games. Yeah, next. So this is the slogan and also logo for Nintendo and their competitors. As you can see, this is the logo for Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft. And for the slogan for Nintendo, which is "There's no play like it." Next. And these are the characters for Nintendo, which for the famous character, for example, like Mario, Pikachu. Next. And these are the packaging for Nintendo and their competitors. As you can see, this is the Nintendo packaging, Sony and also Microsoft. Next. And product, and when it comes to 4Ps, as I mentioned just now, compared to other competitors, Nintendo are offering more video games. However, Sony and Microsoft offering more to gaming product, entertainment product, and they are more suitable for professional gamers or more to working adults. However, Nintendo are targeting for young child, teenagers, and also adults, but it's suitable for both range. Next, price for Nintendo are affordable for everyone as their product is really cheap that everyone can afford it. However, for Sony and Microsoft are slightly expensive that which not really affordable by everyone. Channel of distribution of Nintendo, they distribute their product via wholesaler to retailer until the customer, and they do sell the product online too. However, for Sony sell the product through large retailer, for example like Amazon.com or eBay, to their customer. For Microsoft, they distribute the product through OEMs or they distribute directly to their customer. For promotion, Nintendo do more for pop-up promotion, which every time, for example, every time we visit any websites, we can see the gaming advertisement will pop up and we have to click it to cancel. This is a very good way to do advertisement for a gaming company. And also, they also do YouTube advertisement, which is when we watch video on YouTube, the first 30 seconds is the advertisement. Yeah. And Sony do more gaming competition, and Microsoft they do promotion every monthly, and also they do billboards advertisement. For the communication process, Nintendo they do more promotional advertising, public relations, and social engagement to reach to their customers. However, Sony they have their professional sales personnel to serve their customer, and Microsoft they got 24 hours customer service. Next.
I'm Young Simon. I'm going to continue the following part. So for the brand positioning of Nintendo, Sony, and also Microsoft, based on the Nintendo is more to casual game and also the price is affordable, while for Sony and Microsoft, their product is more to expensive and also hardcore games. Next. So for targeting, Nintendo used to target the casual gamer, and they used to target the family members, and then they target all income level, which is because their product is so cheap and that everyone can afford to buy. Unlike Microsoft and also Sony, they only targeted at the casual, the hardcore gamer, and also the high income level. So for segmentations of Nintendo, Nintendo they target the age from 7 to 12, and then 13 to 18, and also 20 to 50. So they used to target the diverse occupations, which at the diverse category. So they used to target students and then working adult and also some senior citizens. The income level they used to target is based on the low and medium income level, and also the education level they used to target is low to high. For the behavioral segmentation, they target the casual gamer, and then the social party gamer, and then the video game lover, and also whoever love to They also used to target the non-traditional gamer, whoever interested in the new game. Next. So this is the competitive analysis of Nintendo, Sony, and also Microsoft. So for our information, the business nature for Nintendo is specialized in video gamer, which is the casual game, and then for Sony and Microsoft is based on the hardcore game, and then for For the price, Nintendo is affordable, Sony is expensive, and also Microsoft is also expensive. For the quality, Nintendo is average, and then the quality for Sony and Microsoft is definitely better than Nintendo. This is because the performance in Nintendo is just acceptable, while for Sony and Microsoft is excellent and good because the resolution in Sony and also Microsoft is higher, and then the processing is also good than Nintendo. So for three of these, Nintendo, Sony, and also Microsoft, they do have their own exclusive line of game. Okay, that's all for my part.
Alright, moving on, I'll be explaining about the customer brand-based equity model. Now basically this model is used to access, it's a way to access value of a brand in customers' mind, and in order for Nintendo to build a good perspective in customers' mind, they have to spread a lot of right type of experience about the brand. And next, these are the survey questions that we did. Next. And based on the survey questions, here are some of the questions talking about the brand awareness. When talking about familiarity, as you can see, there's 34.3% of them are very much familiar with the brand of Nintendo. Next. And talking about how often do people hear about Nintendo, 7.1% of them are very much aware of the brand, but others are more towards neutral and they hardly hear about the brand. And talking about how Nintendo products lately are being talked about, many of them, 24.7% exactly, never heard of Nintendo's new products. And a question about a hardcore gamer, how would they think Nintendo push their gaming level? Most of them, 24.2% of them say that Nintendo is not much for hardcore gamers. Moving on is questions about brand association. Is Nintendo easy to find? Most of them, 40.3%, say it's neutral, and to great extent they can find about Nintendo on the internet. And most of them, 44.4%, are on the neutral stand, that they think Nintendo has a satisfactory price range. And does Nintendo have limited product? 5.6% of them do agree that they have very limited products available. Moving on, I'll pass it to my friend member.
So I will continue the part of brand personality of Nintendo's. Does Nintendo give you feelings of funds? For example, like they are giving out. Does that giving out the funds to everyone? There's only 37.9% people thinking that Nintendo is neutral toward them, as in the funds Nintendo brings out. The second one is, does Nintendo give you the feeling excitement? There's only 21%, 12.1% out of 100% people think that Nintendo are bringing the excitement toward the gamers. Okay. The third question is perceived quality of Nintendo's. How well does Nintendo satisfy your gaming needs? There's only 10.6% people are thinking is extraordinary for the Nintendo's gaming. Okay. The second one is, to what extent Nintendo is superior to others brand in gaming categories. For example, like how does them overcome the other brands? Mostly people think that 43.4% are normal, they are slowly chasing up the other competitors. Okay. The third question is, to what extent do you think Nintendo lack of online features? There's only 4% out of 100%, and there's only 8 people is talking that Nintendo have good online features. Okay. So I'll pass to my friends to continue this presentation.
Good afternoon. According to the survey regarding brand image, when asked to people, brand image being what the brand projects to people, do you agree that Nintendo is for hardcore gamers, which states that there's only 34.8 people who are neutral about it, all together putting more than half of it, yes, but not a very satisfying number for such a big brand. Next. Do you think Nintendo is for casual gamers? Yes. Most of the people have actually agreed more than neutral, too strongly agree category, which you can see according to the graph, which states that actually Nintendo is for casual gamers. So, then, competitive brand. As a competitive brand compared to Sony and Microsoft, Nintendo is not very competitive, as you can see the graph. Nintendo is your first choice when it comes to gaming with family. 40.4% of people are very neutral about this. So as you can see, the brand is been getting a very neutral feedback from everyone. Brand resonance, how people actually feel towards the brand. Nintendo being more than a product to a person. Yes, of course. As you can see, this too is neutral, but you can see that 25.3% of people who actually strongly disagree to this, which can be seen as a problem to them. A feeling of deep connection with Nintendo. It's the same situation as the previous slide, where many are neutral and at the same time, many strongly disagree. Talking about Nintendo to others, word of mouth, which is a very important tool for the brand's growth. 27.8% of people, in fact, if you calculate everything and you put it together, more than 50% of people disagree about talking to Nintendo about others. Why? Is because Nintendo does not come up in your conversations. Visiting Nintendo's website to get the information, as you can see, many people strongly disagree. More than 50% of people actually strongly disagree about going to the website and getting information. That means Nintendo's website services is not being updated to the people for them to actually gather and obtain information regarding the brand. So these are the points that the brand should actually consider improving, and according to the survey, this is what it is. So I would like to pass it on to my next group member. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon. Now I'm going to give the recommendation for Nintendo. Okay, the first one is by using the IMC to build the brand equity. The first point is I'm going to recommend to Nintendo is they must do advertising using the above and below the line. Like if above mean you can do like make a homepage at Facebook so that everyone can go through that and can get to know more about Nintendo and get more information about the latest product. And about the below the line, you can do some campaign or roadshow for the product as for Nintendo as well. And the second point will be marketers should understand the Nintendo present state of brand awareness and also brand image. Like whenever the customer is not understand about the product, the marketer should know that what is the exact way to explain to them. Like, and the third point will be the communication need to be catchy so that consumer would stop and look through it. Like you need to make a communication with the consumer so that the communication need to be catchy so that the customer will be like curious about the thing that you want to say, and they will keep on looking for information for your product. And for the use of secondary brand association to build brand equity, Nintendo can use celebrity endorsement to advertise their product. Like they can find YouTuber or professional core gamers to advertise their product since they are the professional. Okay, and also lastly is usage of logo. So I recommend that Nintendo to change their logo to be more colorful so that colorful can like make things to be more can be remembered easily. So next I will pass it to my friend to continue the presentation.
This is managing Nintendo over time to overcome the key issues. As we found out from the surveys, we've gathered these problems. It lacks the online feature in it. Example, for Sony, they have the Steam app. which allows the user to download games in it without getting a hard copy. And the Steam app can give you perks and skills by points gathered or by actually buying it online. And there's also not much of categories of games available on Nintendo, and building brand equity with social media, as we found out that Nintendo lacks the social media presence. Although they have a Facebook page, but it doesn't have an intriguing content for engagement. Nintendo needs to capture the core gamers. Nintendo has been focusing for the casual gamers, while they should be focusing on the core gamers, because the core gamers usually don't spend much on games. And this is for the in-game advertising. We believe that in Nintendo there should be a minimal advertising, as this could be a form of revenue for them. Thanks. And this is for standardization and adaptation. For players, Nintendo should stick with standardization, because by selling through their wholesalers, they can put their products everywhere. And for price, we believe that it should stick with within the range price. And this allows them to implement the pricing strategies in the long run. For promotion and product, however, we would like them to adapt to the local market. By promotion, we should follow the spending trends of a market. For example, in Malaysia, there's the year-end sale. This could be an opportunity for Nintendo to put on sale and hope that people would buy it. And for the product, by adaptation, Nintendo could install a local language in it so that it will ease the use for the customer. So the conclusion. The gaming industry is very competitive, it changes a lot, and the rivalry between the brands are immense. So Nintendo should look within the company and apply their strategies accordingly, or risk being obsolete. And with this, I conclude our presentation. Thank you.